Just the other day I was staring out the window hearing the birds sing, enjoying life and the breeze on my face. And then I suddenly remembered, hey, Season of Discovery is still a thing. Which was only confirmed by this Blizzard post telling me to get hyped for the new phase in Season of Discovery. To which two things popped into my head. There's a new phase coming still? And boy, this would likely be considered the longest season of anything in recorded history. Yes, it's true that Season of Discovery's new phase seems to be staring us down the barrel of what realistically is just more vanilla endgame. And to me I was more questioning if anyone is still excited for Season of Discovery by this point. I mean, I personally tuned out when it started to dawn on me that we were just going to be running vanilla endgame, and there's nothing that's really pulled me back in since. Nope, unsurprisingly, the Little World event at Blackrock Mountain, or a harder version of Ragnaros alongside the new tennis ball boss, wasn't particularly what I envisioned, or was expected to be greeted with or get hyped for at level 60 when we first started Season of Discovery. Nor did I expect that phasing would take so long, and how long we'd spend at say level 40 or 50. And my question I suppose is, does anyone still care about this? On a general large scale, as it did surprise me when I logged on that there's still a fair amount of people on my server in Stormwind, but my server is meant to be one of the most populated ones in Season of Discovery, EU, so it'd be a bad sign if there was nobody there. Yet somehow it didn't feel particularly booming or engaging, I'd say. For example, in a bit of contrast here, in Cataclysm Classic, after I'd raided tier 11 for a solid few weeks, I changed up to play retail instead, as it felt like I'd done everything I wanted to in Cataclysm by that point. Yet whenever I jump back in to just see how things are going on my server, it feels like it's pretty alive and kicking, and there's a lot going on in terms of guilds and groups wanting to raid even more, and people progressing into heroics, and running the new Zul'Gurub and Zulaman dungeons, and there's a real sense of community and flow on the servers even though it is a smaller player base than it was for BC or Wrath. Whereas Season of Discovery has people and a population, but it didn't seem all alive or very well, and there seemed to be a real difference in the two player bases. And although it's been documented so much where Season of Discovery kind of went wrong, through encouraging deep-rooted metas and grindy gameplay that in turn produced a bunch of sweat lords who wouldn't let you into what were very easy raids without the correct runes attached, i.e. no more fun for you Mr. Paladin, you didn't have your interrupt attached. It feels like kind of what appeared to be a fun twist on vanilla became a very specific subgenre of vanilla instead, where people were meant to enjoy the additions to vanilla to boost your experience of gameplay, instead became the additions were the absolute necessary requirements for playing, and there were divisive metas which you had to stick to. And we've seen things like this in retail WoW, specifically when you're running Mythic Plus, where certain class combinations which can easily run the dungeons aren't even invited to groups, just based on the idea of what is most optimized at this point. And it was a really strange thing to see in vanilla to such a strong extent, especially for lower level content. Now I do want to be fair to Season of Discovery, it wasn't all bad and there were some great times along the way, specifically in the first couple of phases I thought. I thought the imagined raid at level 25 and all the new runes we got in additions to classes were a real breath of fresh air, which made things in vanilla speed up a little or combat just flow a bit better. And with world events added in, like in Stranglethorn Vale's PvP event, there was some really good stuff in there for the future of classic WoW, but realistically everything did take a bit too long if we're honest, and there were some decisions ingrained into SOD's DNA that just couldn't be taken out. And also you can't fault them for trying new things like a different way to level up, and even though it failed, I'd rather see them try it and fail than do nothing at all, albeit still just a bit too slow. And combine that with max level not really having anything properly new to enjoy, I'm not so surprised that there are a lot of people who aren't interested anymore. And while Season of Discovery might serve as a testing ground for Classic Plus to tune up what works and what doesn't work, to me it's kind of gone on for too long now. And after previously speaking about the Classic team's resources being quite scarce, divided across Cata and SOD, is continuing to develop Season of Discovery really the best use of their time? From a development point of view, absolutely it is. It's almost burden free in the sense of there are no long-term consequences if you mess up at this point. Most people have stopped playing and you can tune out a lot of it, almost treat it like a live beta test, which is pretty much what SOD had been from the start. So buddy, get yourself hyped for phase 15 of Season of Discovery. 3 years in, let's go! And our new level cap is only level 63. Realistically though, I think the state of Classic at this time is losing a lot of favour with fans that were initially drawn into it, like myself. And as retail seems to only get better and better from the end of Dragonflight, leading into a really good start with The War Within, Classic is at risk of becoming a pretty niche subgenre of the game at this point, when at one point it was certainly the equal, or if not the main show of WoW for a solid few years, when we went through that initial trilogy of Vanilla, BC and Wrath. Whereas now the player base has been dwindled down even more slightly, through into those who don't want to play Cataclysm, and those who have lost interest in Season of Discovery. So where do we go from here? Who still cares about SOD? And am I just an old man shouting at the sky? Yeah, probably I am. Just give us some era realms for BC and Wrath until you figure out a proper Classic Plus, I say. And well, sure, do mod MoP Classic to give all the panda lovers their time in the sun too. In the meantime, I'm off back to retail, and I'm going to thoroughly enjoy myself. But how long will Season of Discovery go on for? And with each dwindling phase, how many people will be playing by the end? Who knows? Only time will tell. Do let me know if you're still playing Season of Discovery, and if it's any fun for you and why, as I'm actually kind of interested in seeing what people say and what the retention is like at this point in its lifespan. Yet as always, take care out there, and I'll see you on the next one. Ta-ra for now. As always, if you're new here, feel free to like and subscribe. And on that note, I think I'll say ta-ra for now, and I'll see you later.